Microphone. Let's try that with a microphone again. Good morning and welcome to Ed's World, where it's always morning, even in the afternoon. I am your host, Jay Edgar, and I am joined today by the lovely Mrs. RRC, who I've been very excited to have as a guest, and singing in backup for just in case, we do still have the RRC as well. So, welcome you both to the show. How are you guys doing today?
Hello, doing good.
What's happening, brother?
Doing good.
I'm just half a face on the camera.
Oh, then move your ass over.
Sit next to each other like you like each other.
Yeah, right.
Ugh.
How much are we talking?
I'd rather drink a bottle of bleach.
You want she go yours? I'll poke the holes in the box. I'll put a bag of Cheetos in there so she can make the trip. It'll be all good.
It'll be
And
nice.
still go flying the opposite way. He's such a dick, isn't he?
Look forward to 2 hours of this, folks, and that's what it's going to be today. We do have a full show of topics, though, to talk about. Let's get the list up here. Looks like we had Super Tuesday happen this past week, and we have another Super Tuesday coming up tomorrow because they really want to get this Democrat thing through. So we'll talk a bit about what happened last week, what might happen tomorrow, and a rule change for the upcoming debate that may decide whether or not we get to hear from the third candidate that manages to still be running. Coronavirus is running rampant, and we have a projection of a large number of cases by April, and a cruise ship that is set to disembark near Oakland, so we'll talk about that. Trump has decided to file some lawsuits against several media outlets over libel, so we'll talk a bit about what that and what could possibly happen if that does fail. Makita Rivas made a pretty serious math blunder, was corrected about it, and then doubled down, and then MSNBC doubled down on it as well. So we'll talk a bit about how much it actually does take to give everybody in America $1 million. And finally, MSNBC legend Chris Matthews is out at MSNBC. We'll talk about a bit of why he got ousted and how he got ousted. There's going to be all of this and more over on Ed's World. Thanks for checking us out live over on DLive, Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, and we are back on Facebook, folks. So Zuckerberg, this one's for you.
Indeed.
And if you can't catch us live or the whole show, you can always catch us on demand over on YouTube and on BitChute.com. Check us out over there and leave that thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and check us out there. Or if you'd rather take the show on the go, you can take us on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. And remember, if you're on iTunes, leave us that 5-star rating and a good review. That always helps us move up the charts. Ed's World is proudly partnered with the Freedom Scoop Media Group. So go over there and check us out, this show. We also have Stephen Ignoramus and his various shows, The Generational Gap. Contemporary is over there. And confirmed on the roster, we do have the R-Rated Conservative Show is over on freedomscoop.com. So go over and check everybody out over there. That is we're all over there, we're all ready, and we all help each other out. So go check everybody out. After the lengthy introduction, it is time to find out more about our guest. So the R-Rated Conservative has told us all about himself, but now it's time to learn about the Mrs. So Mrs. RRC, tell us a bit about yourself.
Damn, I'm in the hot seat. I don't know. Depends on what do you want to know. I mean, I'm a bitch. Everybody knows that already. But no, I'm a workaholic, and that's, I mean, it's pretty much what I do is work a lot, take care of the 2 asshole dogs. I'll take care of this prick sometimes, you know. The wifely duties. Oh, sit on it and rotate.
That's your job.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my life is not exactly, overly adventurous. It's literally wake up, go to work, come home, do the show, go back to bed, hit repeat, and do it all over again.
Yeah, she's a working stiff that really doesn't have time in between to read the newspaper.
Well, and that's something I'm kind of excited for on this episode, because I usually talk to libertarians, pundits, people who do politics for a hobby, and now I actually have somebody that's in the field that's recognizable, that is pretty much an everyman. So we actually get to see how the news affects the people that aren't doing this religiously like I am, or like ignoramuses or someone like that. And I think that's important to note, because we need to hear some more about that. And we've heard the story about how the RRC podcast came to be, but I'd like to hear it from the other angle too. So how did the two of you decide that it was time to get into this this media circus that we have?
Well, with him, this is something, I guess it was kind of like a long-lived dream type deal. And, I'm going to be honest, unfortunately, his family doesn't support him worth a shit. And he kind of didn't say much on it. And then, within a little over a year ago, he's like, "Oh, what would you think about me, doing a podcast?" I don't give a fuck. Do what you want. Long as you ain't fucking, you know, out at the strip club or having whores over. I mean, do whatever you want. I mean, like, and of course I was like, is it going to cost money? He's
right
like,
away with the whores.
Oh, shut up.
I mean, I deal with Hillary Clinton and fucking AOC. They're whores.
Well, that's them, unfortunately.
Yeah. Too expensive
but
for me, though.
yeah, shut the fuck up. But no, he would just ask me, and I was like, all right, like, let's look into it, see what this would entail. And, and computer, da 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 da. We got to spend money, don't we? He's like, well, yeah, but I mean, it could pay off and raw. All right, fine. You want truth? I'm giving it to you.
Jesus, make it seem like, oh my God. I feel like fucking, remember the Jacksons fucking, what do you call it, that TV movie? Where one day he just shows up to the house with a van full of musical instruments and PA cabinets and stuff. And it makes them all start lugging it in. That's what I feel like right now.
Oh,
like a
shut
crazy dream.
up, you. But yeah, anyway, he, we went over the logistics and stuff. And I'm like, well, if you want to do it, do it. Part of the vows, support you. I love you.
Sure you do.
No, but that's kind of like how that came about, and I let him do his thing, and I'd be in the next room with the computer and my phone, and I'm watching, and if anyone was getting smart with him, I was like threatening them, and all that stuff. And I forgot after how many shows, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm like, maybe I should sit in on one show so they can actually see, who Mrs. RRC is. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And, one day turned into, you got to have her on here. You keep her on. I'm like, shit, I got 4 jobs now.
Yeah, from one night she was just going to sit in and we were just going to talk about straight pride and everything that was going to occur for that weekend. And after that night, everybody's like, oh, she needs to be a co-host. She's got to be a permanent part. I was like, it's like, wow, if we're really that good, because just the way we talk when you watch the show, that's us going to the store life. To go get groceries, yelling at the car. It
is real life. There is no sugarcoating it.
Just to see who can outsmart ass the other one.
Blood out your ass.
See what I mean?
But yeah, that's kind of like how it came about. I mean, it was more of obviously his idea, and I don't want to say tag along like a bad thing, but
yeah, I'm the brains and she's the muscle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it is a great team, and we're going to go ahead and check in with the live chat here. Remember, if you're over on Facebook or on Twitter, we're not going to be able to see the live chat as you go along, but if you go ahead and hit into one of the live chat links we have, YouTube, DLive, or Twitch, you can get in the live chat. We can read you on the air, and we do take questions in between topics. So come on over here and check us out. Looks like Ron Helton is here, and both of the RRC family have put their 2 cents in on this, and some great images as well. So yeah, go ahead and get on in, and we'll get questions up between topics here. So we are going to move right on into topics. Hopefully this time we're not going to take an hour doing a 2020 watch, even though it seems to happen that way every time lately. There's not near as much to talk about this time. We had kind of a slow week after Super Tuesday, but Super Tuesday was this past week. According to multiple outlets, we watched Joe Biden mysteriously somehow walk away with everything. And that is after we saw some other bow-outs coming out here. Joe Biden wound up leading the day and taking states such as Massachusetts. He got further in Vermont than I ever thought he could, but he mainly held a stronghold across the South, including Texas, which was hotly contested. And Bernie Sanders wound up taking states like California, Colorado, and some of the more hippie states here. It was an interesting... did you get to see any of the coverage? I know you guys were on air while most of the results were rolling in.
I mean, I personally don't really watch TV unless if I come home for a brief time and I'm watching Law & Order SVU. And that's right before bed. And I mean, I have my phone going off 1,001 times with people's, D-Life shows or text alerts and all that kind of stuff, but I still just don't sit and read every little thing unless if something comes up. I'm like, oh, babe, did you hear this? No. Okay, all right, so and he'll go and he'll explain it. And sometimes I'll either have a comment or I'll just kind of give the "you don't give a fuck" look, do you? I'm like, no.
Well, you guys got out to the polls because you were participating in Super Tuesday. You guys got out, I'm guessing, and got to the polls and cast your.
Uh,
No,
I didn't vote.
No, we on Super Tuesday there was no point. I mean,
I don't want to vote for either of those assholes.
I knew that Trump, and I also knew that nobody was going to vote for him, even in his home state of Massachusetts.
yeah.
He was going to get maybe 2%, and I was wrong. He got 1%. And that would be the former governor, Bill Weld.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers what a sack of crap he was.
Well, it is interesting to me that, I mean, are you open primary or closed primary in Massachusetts? I've never voted there, so I have no idea.
Honestly,
You've never voted in
the only vote I casted in Mass was the just the general election in 2016.
Okay.
Which
I didn't even know you went to vote, and I didn't.
Yeah, I did vote because I have to re-register because we moved. So as far as that, I don't know. I think it is I think it is open.
Yeah, so I mean, what I plan to do, because Wisconsin's open primaries, I actually want to walk over and vote for Bernie just for the hell of it, because he is not doing very well in Wisconsin anymore. He was before, but not anymore. Just to shake things up and skew the numbers out a little bit.
No, man, you don't put Bernie, don't even give him a modicum. He needs to be destroyed because if Bernie goes up against Trump, he has a way better chance of winning than Biden does. You put Biden up there, those are going to be the greatest debates ever captured on television in American history. You already know this, not only from the wisecracks coming from Trump, but definitely the questioning he's going to have for him about Burisma, his son, his brother, like his whole family is like a mafia.
Well, and the other thought that I had with that, of course, too, is going over, taking a Dem ballot, and putting Tulsi Gabbard on there. Once again, just to skew the numbers.
Yeah, she calls her garbage.
I call her coconut mommy.
I'm looking over your itinerary yesterday, and I was like, "What the hell is a garbage? A garbage?" He's like, he starts laughing at me. He's like, "No, that's not how you pronounce it." I'm like, "Oh, my guys think garbage." Okay, next.
Yeah, well, we are up here in Mass, so she was thinking of gabbage.
Very funny asshole.
My Polynesian princess, Tulsi Gabbard.
Please.
I can't believe she's still in after all this time.
I don't know what she thinks she's trying to plan, but she's another one I would never vote for ever because she may sound like the most reasonable one, but at the end of the day, she would endorse Bernie Sanders.
Well, for the most part, I just want to get her up in delegate counts so the DNC can't. We'll talk about that in just a bit here, but so the DNC can't sit and block her from getting on to the ticket and getting on the debate stage, because that's one of the controversies right now is in the Phoenix debate. They just changed the rules and they disallowed her from getting up there because they don't want to see her going after and airing the dirty laundry of either one of the top two, Statler and Waldorf.
Ain't that the truth? Although, personally, they could even if they did put her up on the stage, let's face it, it wouldn't make a bit of difference. She's weak, and she's already shown that she's weak.
Mm-hmm.
AOC has made more of an impact in the news and the political scene than Tulsi has.
Yeah.
Tulsi's running for president. And meanwhile, this twit with the IQ of an ashtray is in the headlines every other day. Positive or negative, it doesn't matter. You know who she is. She is a household name. Nobody knows who Tulsi Gabbard is, except for guys like Tim Pool and us who like follow this shit because like it's just what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, to the casual voter, she would have no idea who Tulsi Gabbard is.
Well, yeah, I
She
mean,
knows
we looked at the
Clinton is
itinerary.
because she's a cunt. Cunts know each other somehow, some way.
Yeah.
They have like an aura that binds them all together, in like a web of cuntery.
Country, really?
Yeah.
I think that needs to go into the Oxford Dictionary at this point.
Indeed.
I just saw a meme on Facebook. It says cruise deal, buy one get Yeah, right. Cruise deal, buy 1 week, get 2 free. Promo code Corona.
That's awful.
Oh, and we are going to be talking
She
about
has a
Corona
little
and cruises
sense
in a bit.
Twisted. She's more fucked up than I am.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I find like all little memes and I just stop finding shit hilarious. I'm like, hey, that's me. That's you. Shut up, dogs. Yeah, one of our dogs is on lockdown. I don't know if he got pissed because either we didn't give him any food because he cooked on the grill, or because I just stepped outside for 3 seconds to grab the mail and then he proceeds to stand there and piss on the floor while looking at me. And as I'm yelling at him, he's still pissing and not moving. Then when I yell at him, he walks as he's still peeing, then stops, pisses more, and then looks at me. So he's on Dougie punishment for a while.
Yeah, he's got 3 to 5. 18 months with good behavior.
Son of a bitch.
Well, one of the things
I can hear him.
Shut up.
One of the things I did want to bring up here, and this kind of goes into the when I was on your show, because I just listened to that the other day, and then I realized I got back from my mom and dad's yesterday and realized that Bernie was about to fold like a cheap lawn chair again. But we had tensions this past week between the two of them tearing each other down, them calling each other names for a moment. And then in a moment of clarity on a Fox News interview with was it Chris Smith? I can't think of the anchor's name. But he was being interviewed on Fox News, and when asked if he was going to ramp up his attacks on the former vice president, Bernie Sanders said that he called Joe Biden a friend and said that if he couldn't get the vote together for himself to be the nominee, he was going to drop and endorse Joe Biden, just like he did with Hillary Clinton. This isn't a revolution anymore. He's just another puppet of the DNC at this point.
Yeah, not only that, they're all fakes.
Yeah.
His whole socialist revolution was fake anyway. He can barely stand up straight. You've seen the speed bag video. He goes like this, the bag knocks him back 5 feet.
I don't think I have seen that video.
He's going to lead a globe-changing revolution. He can't even hold himself. He physically cannot hold himself up. And Joe Biden, I mean, we don't have to worry about him because he ain't going to remember nothing anyway.
Does he have like Alzheimer's or something?
Yeah, he's got some kind of dementia or whatever the hell. But, I mean, the instant either of them get up on the debate stage with Trump, because they're both career politicians who've been in the game for Joe Biden's been in 50 years. Sanders has been in about 40. Neither one of them have ever produced anything of substance at all. Neither of them. And even Hillary Clinton admits that too. I guess in her new documentary that Hulu just did on her.
Oh, Jesus
She
God.
comes in and she's like, oh, nobody likes the guy. Nobody wants to work with the guy. In all these years, he's done nothing. He's just a career politician. Way to fucking just take a shit on somebody who endorsed you 4 years ago.
Yeah, but this is the same documentary where Bill came out and said he popped Monica Lewinsky for anxiety relief.
Yeah, and I got a story I'm going to be covering tonight about that as well. Hillary popped Epstein for anxiety relief as well.
Oh, Jesus God.
Courtesy of the Babylon Bee.
Okay, so maybe he did kill... Oh, well, it's Babylon Bee, I was going to say. I mean, if that's factual, maybe he did kill himself. Because now he's got to remember that.
Oh, shit.
So Super Tuesday is done, and like I say, we're pretty much anxiously at this point awaiting the general election. So as far as the next Super Tuesday, the next round of 6 states that come up, just looking at the map that's coming up for the next time through, I do see a very narrow Biden lead on this one. That's including the fact that everybody and their brother has come out to endorse the geriatric old asshole at this point. Do you see the same thing? Either of you?
I know she don't give a fuck because I hate them all. Me personally, I think the whole Biden deal is already signed, sealed, and delivered. Bernie's just going along for now for the show, seeing if he can wrangle up a few more dollars that he's going to pump back into the DNC. He already knows it's over. Tulsi, I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She thinks she's going to pull some last-second power play. Like, she's going to be like some fucking, like it's wrestling. All of a sudden, she's going to come out from under the ring and fucking whack somebody with a chair. and fucking take it herself. It's not going to happen. There's no rhyme or reason to anything that they're doing. Maybe this is an indication that this virus is a serious thing because they don't give a fuck. All they know is they need to get underground as soon as possible.
Well, I guess my thought behind the Tulsi thing is I think she's just sitting in there. She wants to sharpen her claws one more time so she can do this again in 2024. She's young enough that she has a chance that she can do this again. Her and Mayor Buttigieg, they're all young enough that they can do this again. But we're not. I don't think if nobody gets into this, I don't think we're going to see Joe Biden in the race again. I don't think we're going to see Bernie Sanders in the race again. I don't think we're going to see Bernie Sanders alive for 2024.
That goes for Hillary, Biden, Sanders, Pelosi. I'd be surprised if she makes it to this. She's already started to decompose. She drinks the alcohol to stay pickled.
That's what I did for 10 years too.
That you have of her.
Oh, that's actually cousin Eddie from Iron Maiden.
Jesus. Shut up. Kill the dog, please.
Kill the dog.
He's gonna go kill the dog. You hear he tripped.
Well, since I got you here, and I know you've seen some of the news here, we've only got 3 options at this point, instead of 17 that you have to analyze. The geriatric old Alzheimer's victim, the geriatric old socialist, and the Polynesian princess. So I'm going to ask you the 3 questions, and this is, for everyone that's watching, this is the first time I've got a non-political pundit's opinion on this. So out of the 3, on the statistics you've seen out of the news so far, what little bit of news you've seen, plus what you see from covering the show, which one of these 3 idiots do you think is going to be the nominee?
What, that's going to go against Trump?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly how all the numbers are. I know more or less it's usually between Sanders and Biden, but I mean, a lot of people say Bernie Sanders is like the way to go. Like, I guess they seem to like the shit that he says, which is probably all bullshit anyway. Yeah, see what I mean? I think more people tend to lean towards him because even on like my Facebook, obviously I have friends that are not Trump fans, which is fine. It is to each his own, your own opinion. Mm-hmm. But a lot of them will they'll post memes and stuff and they'll be like, oh, Bernie, Bernie, Bernie. So I'm like, I have a vague feeling it may be Sanders, which from what he explains to me sometimes is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does kind of make you worry a little bit because if Sanders per se were to win, what's going to happen now? Like, what are we in for now? Especially people, like you said, who are like conservative. So it's just, it's not knowing, it makes it a lot worse.
If that old bastard wins, we're finished.
Yeah.
Well, then start digging a fucking hole now.
Well, I meant at least the show, all of us streaming, all of that's done.
Yeah. Well, and I know too, the last time when I was on your show, you had that coworker that had talked to you about student loan forgiveness, and then we got off on that sidestep. So yeah, I know it's around you guys, the Bernie Bros. I don't necessarily see so many of them in person, but they do love to attack me on Twitter. They love that.
Well, I'm gonna go fuck them up. I'll go fuck them up.
I call him my resident enforcer for a reason, folks. But you know what? That's where all the Bernie Bros are all going to gather is on Twitter, man, because it's a fake universe.
I'm not happy with you.
That's the place where they can be that fucking inner superhero, Mr. Truth, Justice, and the quote-unquote American way that they think.
Hey,
it's
we've
the
got
way
a third
it is
co-host in here.
Bernie Sanders. But you know what? I think Bernie's going to lose because his people, just like him, are so fucking lazy. They're either going to forget or they're just not going to be bothered to go out and vote because they think he's got it locked in the bag.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Really, dude?
Jackson!
Jax, come on. Come on.
He is
Stop that.
In love.
All right.
You're still a bad boy for what you did, but like
You're an asshole.
this is what we deal with.
All right. Yeah, this is our life. Fucking zookeepers. Get out of here.
All right, so the next question is always the lesser of however many evils left, and we do have 3 evils left in this race. So, from your opinion, what you've learned about all 3 of these candidates, which one do you think is the lesser of 3 evils? If you had to have one of them as president, which one is going to make you worry the least?
I would say, ow! I would say, I don't know, either Biden or the other. What the fuck's the bitch's name?
Tulsi.
Yeah, that bitch.
Yeah, garbage.
Like in all, really know too much of this Tulsi bitch. I don't know much about her as far as anything. I've always heard stuff on either Biden or Sanders, so I didn't actually. I only thought it was just them two running. I didn't know that there was an extra.
It's because she
person.
hasn't formally dropped out yet, but she also hasn't done a fucking thing.
Yeah,
She hasn't
yeah.
been on a debate. She hasn't campaigned. There's no ads running for her. There's nothing.
She won American Samoa. That's about all she did.
Well, congratulations.
I thought it was. I thought Bloomberg won Samoa.
After he dropped out for whatever reason, she got his delegate.
Well, I mean, at least she's popular among her people.
She's got 2.
That's it. That's it. She's gonna have Afa and Sika as her running mates.
All right, and now we get to do the extensive meme knowledge here, because I know you've seen the memes of all 3 of them, I guess, but for the most part, the 2 of them. Out of the 3 candidates that are still running for the pure entertainment value, which one do you want to see run against Trump? For the ads, for the debates, for the quips, and just for the general laughs? Which one do you think is going to be the funny?
Biden, I think, would be the best, because I mean, Bernie Sanders is just I don't know, he's just a fucking tool. But Biden is so like lost with his head up his own ass. Like, I think Trump would tear him to shreds, but it would be like, now that would be something I'd actually watch, and like you said, just for the entertainment, like comedic value, I'd watch that just to be an asshole. But I would prefer it be Biden, that he fucking just tears to shreds.
Oh, I hope that we get to see Biden take Trump behind the gym like he promised he was going to.
Yeah.
I don't want to debate Trump. I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym.
Yeah, and blow him.
Hey, didn't we get promised a push-up contest at some point too?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wanted to compete against the fat guy. He wasn't going to compete against a guy like equal build to him, because he could probably get 2 done. Trump might get 3. He stays awake a lot, so that probably at least gives him a little.
Stop
Will you
stepping
get
on
down?
Gemma.
Stop it.
This poor dog's had your ass in her face for the last 3 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, he's trying to make up for lost time because he knows he's punishing. He knows I'm mad at him.
All right, let's check in with the live chat, see what we got going on here. Looks like we've got EMFAGO from the Generational Gap is showed up here, says he knows these 2. And he also says Mommy Gabbard. I like that. Ron Helton is showing up with the stickers.
Ah, sweet. We got
he's got
DM DeMott and Duke Raoul, too.
I didn't see DM DeMott yet, but I don't know if I've scrolled down. Yes, Duke Raoul is over here on YouTube, but looks like I saw earlier he was asking if I had a D Live, so yes, I do. It looks like he found it. Yep, there he goes. Hello, Grizzly Bear.
Like overly kissing our ass.
We got the popcorn eating over here.
Popcorn. I want popcorn now.
Ugh. Damn popcorn.
I got Sully Blue over here. What's up, Jay? 3 of my favorite people right here. DM DeMott is here. Welcome on in. Go ahead and hit that sub button if you haven't already. That's awesome, you guys, to come on over here and check me out here. Thank you very much for showing up. We'll go back and check in with the live chat again after the next topic here. So we had the entertainment. Now we get to talk about a little bit of the dark stuff here. So we've got some coronavirus updates that have happened over the past week. And of course, after I left Twitter and the internet for a couple days, you guys broke the world on me. So now we get to see all this stupid shit pop up here.
Broke the world.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I haven't even had a chance to vet this whole oil war thing that's going on that seemed to crash the economy this morning. I haven't even had a chance to look into that yet. So they fucking broke the world.
It's like these things going on, you don't know about it until after it's too late.
Yeah. So, in coronavirus, experts are now projecting that we're going to see 2 million cases in the United States by April. And that's just in the United States. That's not even worldwide. We added 3 more countries to the list of countries that have had this here. And now CNN especially is trying to make this out to be Trump's Hurricane Katrina moment here. So, I actually watched CNN for 2 hours on Saturday, or Sunday rather, while we were making breakfast, because we got up and my dad was watching it. That's all they did for 2 hours, was talk about coronavirus and Trump and how bad he did it and how the stock market was going to tank on Monday as soon as it opened up, which that came true, but that didn't wind up being mostly because of coronavirus. That wound up being mostly because of other things. But you're in the health industry, correct?
Yes.
So what have you seen on this so far? You're actually on the ground with this then.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. I mean, there's not much that really has touched over here. Like, I went to the store today and he's like, how are all the shelves look? I'm like, they're fully stocked. And he's like, oh, well, the places over here and this and they're all like, empty and all this shit. And I'm like, okay, everything's kind of normal up here. I mean, if anything, they're just pushing what everyone should know to begin with: wash your hands, like common sense. But I mean, other than that, they're not taking any huge precautions other than like, staff, if you have a fever, if you're sick, stay home. Although they self-contradict themselves because you call in sick. Well, why are you calling out? You fucking told me if I'm sick. So that's like a double-edged sword there. But like, as far as actually both my jobs, they're not, I don't think they're taking it very serious. Just wash your hands and there you go until the shit hits the fan, and then it'll be like panic, and then yeah.
Yep. Up here, I guess the reality of it hasn't hit yet because you go to our stores, the shelves are still stocked, still plenty of water out there. We grabbed a shit ton of it. We made sure.
Got 10 bloody cases. Holy shit!
Plus one of those big ass Poland Spring jugs, plus other shit too, and they I don't know. I know over in Southern California, Pete the Patriot, he took a picture of his local Walmart and the water aisle was just gone, clear.
Mm-hmm.
And up here, everything is stocked and overstocked. I guess they're just blowing out what they have. I don't know. But
well, I mean,
I figured they would be taking it a lot more cases reported within 20 miles of our house.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least in this area, but nope.
Well, yeah, and I didn't know anything about Massachusetts cases. I know that I listen to Styx every day, and he's already said that, I mean, there's a case in Vermont. He's in the Netherlands right now, so he's not, well, they're getting it up there too, and they're closer to the mainland area, but over by his home in Vermont, I guess there's something in Burlington or possibly, maybe Montpelier. He didn't specify where it was in Vermont, but it has hit Vermont at this point, and I
wonder if Bernie will go spend some time in his home state. Not now. Fuck that shit.
On the summer camp.
Yeah, a summer camp.
Well, it's like you guys said though too. I mean, I am pretty well stocked, but the advantage of that was before the coronavirus started. The news started with that. The local chain grocery store here started doing a massive stock up sale, even before the news was in. They printed the coupons out, so they do it 2 or 3 times a year, so it wasn't like they were doing it as a result of the news, but yeah, I've been taking full advantage of that, and I mean, this little apartment here is stocked with food for a little while without even me intending to panic buy. But like you said, down in Southern California, they are panic buying because I think a lot of it is they're just taking what the mainstream news is telling them and running and panicking with it, and the mainstream news has done quite a bit to try and make sure that this is a panic state. Like, they want us to panic over this.
They absolutely do. So this way, when things get out of, they can blame it all on Trump.
Which they're already doing.
Yeah, everything is Trump's fault. I'm surprised that patient zero, where he just like took a bag of white powder containing the virus and just sprinkled it at a couple of rallies. I'm surprised they're not accusing him of things like this. They've accused him of everything else. I mean, why haven't they accused him of like having people shot and killed? Because isn't that what real dictators do?
Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about that too on the libel lawsuits. So we'll be talking about that on the next topic after this here. But one of the things that has stood out with us, and this is part of the reason they're trying to blame this this big sell-off today on the virus and on Trump and pretty much everything else going on Trump here, is because A, we've had 22 deaths now in the United States, and B, Pence had said that we were going to see some shortages in testing. Like, we couldn't get enough tests out to get people tested. And yet, during an interview on CNN, an impromptu interview, Trump was asked whether or not people are going to be able to get tested. And off the cuff, he said, if you want a test, you can get a test, which is what they're blaming the sell-off on. which
Yeah,
is
I mean,
stupider than
there are
shit.
only so many of them available. This all just came to us at once. So obviously, the tests are still in production and it's going to take time. They make sure to leave that part out, though. Oh, they're not doing anything to prepare. It's like it takes time to prepare. Like, you can't prepare for something you have no idea about. And medications, anti-vaccines, vaccines, antivirals, these have shelf lives. And a lot of them are very short shelf lives. So
Right.
how much can you constantly keep producing as a backup? You only produce it when you actually need it. But naturally, because we don't have a massive reserve of it, that's his fault too. No matter what he does.
Well, and Mrs. RRC, I kind of wanted to get with, because like I said, RRC and I, we study this stuff for a living, essentially. But on your end of this, because of the panic aspect of this, would you feel better if the president came out and said, we're going to prepare for this, we're going to get this done, we're going to get this taken care of, don't worry about it? Or if he came out on the golf course and said, panic, sell off all your crap, and hunker down forever, which would make you feel better?
I mean, I would rather prefer preparing wise, because maybe if he did go that route, I mean, people are still going to panic, but at least I don't think it would be as bad versus if he just came on and he was just like, fuck, panic, go get your shit. And then everybody's rioting over a fucking, chocolate bar, which I'd be fucking some shit up for some chocolate, just saying.
She'll knife you. She won't hesitate, folks. She's almost knifed me a couple times, and we had extra chocolate.
But it's just, I seem to hear more about the whole coronavirus thing versus all the other things that they've ever had. Ebola, West Nile virus. This seems to be more, I guess you could say, in what the mainstream media type stuff. So it is kind of worrying me just a little bit. I mean, like you just said, there's certain places that people are already wiping the stocks clean. Maybe they could just be doing the same thing we're doing. And it's taken out of context, but you don't know. I mean, I wonder if whatever morning I'm going to wake up and they're going to be like, the fucking world's on lockdown. It's like, okay. I just hope I'm not at work that day, because if I am at work, I am stuck there. So that means all the prepping I did, this motherfucker's going to live and I'm going to go starve at work.
Fuck that. I'll drive down. I'll bring a case of water and a bag of Cheetos.
God, thanks, honey.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the only thing with the field that I do. When it comes to stuff like that, same thing as like snowstorms. It's your shift. You get stuck. People can't come in. It's your ass. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to go, ooh, look, Mass has that, or it's statewide, I think, ooh, I can use my earned sick time that I can't be held responsible for. And I could call out and they can't hold it against me. And then they do that, they'll use that. And then I'm stuck at work for, I don't know, fucking week or two.
Until it runs its course and they can test you.
Yeah, I'm probably going to slit my throat or just take a month off after that.
Or somebody else's throat. You let me out of this building or you're fucked.
I apologize to my coworkers in advance. Sorry. They already know how I am.
I already told her, should that happen, I'm going to show up and bust her out. I'm going to do some fucking A-Team style shit. Blow a hole in the side of the wall. Drive the fucking van in. Come get her.
All I got to do is knock on the door. Hey,
why? What
shit.
the fuck? It's going to be the apocalypse anyway. What difference does it make? Let's make an action movie out of it.
Nice.
Good Lord.
I jest, folks.
I know that they're doing some, they're taking some of the quarantine seriously. One of the other things that they wanted to try and twist out of proportion is the fact that now Ted Cruz has self-quarantined. He's sitting at home because he shook hands with somebody at CPAC who later tested positive for this, and now they're up in arms because Trump said the disease was a hoax, and now his Jesus buddies are saying that it's real, and nobody knows what's going on. Which, by the way, he never fucking said it was a hoax. He never said that.
No,
he said that the panic that they were drumming up on it was a hoax, but the disease itself is real, and everybody knows that.
See, my problem is I've heard so many conflicting stories about it. I really don't know what to believe. We're at that point because I've heard people with firsthand knowledge of what's actually going on in China. The corona that they have, or whatever virus that this thing is not the coronavirus that we have on our shores. Mm-hmm. This is undoubtedly a weaponized virus that kills almost everybody it comes into contact with. It causes bleeding out of like soft tissue areas, ears, eyes, nose, mouth, extreme fevers, and like brain and organ shutdown. Like this is a bioweapon.
Mm-hmm.
But the corona that we're supposedly getting around here, they're trying to compare it to like a severe cold.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who to believe. I at this point, it's like you don't know what to do, so you just throw your hands up in the air and just, fuck it, let's just see what happens.
Well, because I asked you that earlier.
Yeah, and I gave her the exact same answer. I honestly don't know what to believe at this point. For all the conflicting stories we get, I mean, anything that I'm going to hear from InfoWars, naturally, anything like it could be a legit fucking like just regular flu, and they're going to call it a weaponized virus designed to kill black people. But as far as like other news sources, we're getting ranging from mild cold to people are already getting better to basically this is it. So,
Well,
Getting 100 different stories.
one of the things that I've noticed about this is we've looked at the number of reported cases versus the number of deaths, and it seems to hover around 4% reported versus deaths, and this is worldwide. But we do have to keep in mind that China does have a vested interest in keeping us in the dark of how many cases are actually out there, and I do believe that this is closer to 1 or 2% death rate because China's underreported that far. As far as over here, yeah, we're still hovering around the 2 to 4% range, but worldwide,
again,
I would be
even
willing.
our media.
What's that?
I mean, even with our media, have they ever been honest with us? Have they ever given us?
No.
It's to the point now. I'm so disillusioned by everything. It's like I don't believe any of them. It's maddening. It really is, especially at a time of like serious crisis like this. This is not a time to be playing games and fucking with the minds of people. So,
Yet they still do it.
yeah, they do. And I'm wondering which ones are giving us the closest analysis to the truth. I think they're all lying and they're all fucking with us, but I would like to know at least who's the closest so we know what to expect. I mean, the panic has already begun.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop it now. It started on the West Coast and it's going to drift east. And eventually it's going to springboard here and then start working its way west. It's going to meet somewhere in the middle. And if this is the big bioweapon that they're saying, it's going to be the end of us in a year. Otherwise, it's just another fucking media hoax that they pull on us every election cycle. Just like in 2008, 2009 with the swine flu.
Yeah.
Then SARS, and then Ebola, and then Zika.
Yeah, and don't think for a second that's lost on me the fact that this is happening during an election year. Because it absolutely is, and an election year that they have a very vested interest in winning. All right, so I got one more story talking about coronavirus here, and that is the fact that we do have we've got a cruise ship that's coming in, getting ready to disembark near Oakland, California. Now, a lot of people are nervous about this already, but the CDC has got biosuits. Like, this is a big time quarantine that they're going to do, but everybody who's coming off the ship is headed straight for quarantine in California here because, once again, I think that is a media generated panic myself, but I can't obviously vet and verify that. But what do you guys think about this one?
Well, I mean, in a way, I mean, we did cancel our cruise that we originally planned in. Decided we want to buy a house and get the frig out of this state.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but even with this going on now, we probably would have ended up canceling the cruise anyway. Because you can't ever be too sure. But I mean, I feel bad for the people that were on a cruise and then they come off and then they got to go, like you just said, straight to quarantine. So, well, I guess I'm missing work for a couple more weeks because I have no idea how long I'm staying there for.
Well,
you know what I mean? But it sucks.
Well, it's the same thing too. I was actually planning on getting through February here after I bought the truck and then getting ready and going on a cruise myself. I was going to head down to Orlando and crash on Robert from Gen Gap's couch for a couple days and go get on a ship from Port Canaveral over there. Guess what's not happening now?
Yeah, no, because now for all you know, you go on a fucking boat. You're either gonna get sick or you get off the boat and you're gonna be stuck somewhere for a couple of weeks. Getting fucking probably anally probed and then some
Oh,
to
don't
make
threaten
sure
me
you're
with a
not
good
fucking
time.
sick.
Shit.
Shut up, Gemma.
3 years ago, when we went on our honeymoon cruise, we were probably both patient zero for that coronavirus.
Oh
We
man,
both got sick.
I don't
so-
know what the hell was going on here, but we were fine for the first few days, and then it was a Thursday. He just became fucking violently ill. Could not figure out why. I was pissed off because we're on the boat. We were on the at sea that day, so I was like, "Fuck! Now what am I gonna do? This bastard's throwing up and sleeping all day. That fucked up my day." And then it's like the next day we went to the Bahamas. He was all right, and then like at night he was kind of feeling a little again. And then the next day, Saturday, we got off the boat. We started driving home, which, mind you, I will never drive from fucking Massachusetts to Florida ever again. And most of the day was fine till it hit 10:30 at night. That was the worst, like longest fucking. How long did it take us to get home? 10:30 at night to
Because all the stops you kept having to make to throw up.
like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like that was the longest X amount of hours of my life. I thought I was gonna die. Like, me and the highway, it got to know me quite well. Let me say.
And she was sick for like 5 days after that.
Oh yeah, and me, no, that's what it was. We came back from vacation. Finally, we got home, and it's like I slept for like an hour or two. Mind you, I had a fever. I took a shower, obviously, when we got home. Had the fever. I only slept for an hour. This one's passed out on the couch. I go in the car to bring in the fucking luggage. He's like, "Go to fucking bed, fucking sleep." I'm like, "But the luggage was in the car." But needless to say, that it does suck. Something like what we went on didn't even have anything like
I
the
figured out
coronavirus.
exactly why we got sick. It's a really easy call, and I don't want people to say that I'm racist for saying this, but the reason why many of us probably got sick on that boat was because there were passengers on there, probably about 500 of them from China.
Oh, jeez.
And
Wuhan?
you know what? We need to face facts. Their level of hygiene and inoculation not on a level. It's not. Those people have diseases floating around where if even some of it got into the U.S., it would ravage us in 6 months. And I mean, fuck, look where we're heading. So I mean, just what I had was bad enough. Thing is worse. God help people, man.
I kind of wonder why the Asian people like that vacation the way that they do. That does weird me out a little bit too. Because when my ex and I went to go visit her dad in Phoenix, he made us take a driving tour of Arizona basically while we were there. One of the days we went up to the Grand Canyon, and I've never seen so many Japanese people in one place in my life.
Group rates.
I looked over at her and I said, "What do you think? They brought the whole island over here?" And then she slapped me and called me racist.
Yeah. No, that's what they do. The bigger the group, the cheaper the rate they get to travel. So that's why they do it.
The casino.
Oh God, we live near Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. In Mohegan Sun, they built an entire room just for Asian style gaming, table games and shit. And this room is huge and it's full.
And this was like late at night when we had gone, and we walked in, and all of a sudden I'm looking. I'm like, okay, honey.
Yeah, and all the
I'm like,
signs,
I think
everything
we're.
is all.
I'm like, honey. I'm like, I think we're in like little China, and he's like, shh. I'm like, no, man. I'm like, look at him. There's like a fucking one American for every like 50 of them.
Meanwhile, I'm telling her, it's like, shut the fuck up. They'll kill you.
Well, I know for me, it's not even just the ship anymore. I had a backup plan. I wanted to go down to Utah and hike in Zion Canyon because I love the DLC from Fallout New Vegas. That's where they put the Honest Heart DLC. I wanted to go hike that, but I'm like, okay, from here it's a 23-hour drive. That's 2 days of vacation burned there and then 2 more back. Or I can fly out there and ride in a 40,000-pound incubator.
Yeah. Yeah, right now is probably not a good time for vacationing.
Mm-mm. If you're not traveling in your own vehicle, I would say yeah.
I mean, for me right now, I've planned because they're gonna make me take vacation this year. I'm gonna get in the truck. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna crash on Ignoramus's couch, and we're gonna go hike in DC for a while.
Nice.
There you go.
I'm the same thing. I have to take so many vacation days myself before it rolls over into a fucking bucket that I'll never see unless if I'm pregnant or I break something. And I don't plan on doing either or at the moment. So, yeah, I got to take off at least almost 2 weeks myself. But I work so much.
Yeah.
I don't want to take
Plus, if she doesn't take the time off, she'll die.
I took a day off today.
Don't you be lifting your leg at me. I'll stab you. Get out of here.
All right.
All the banging and rubbling. Here it is right here.
You want a dog? Take the dog.
I can't have dogs where I live, otherwise I'd already have one.
Yeah, well, you can have this
We'd
one.
ship him to you if that was the case.
There'd be an English bulldog doing the same thing in this studio.
Yeah, he'll take your camera out, everything. He can leap 6 feet in the air.
Yeah, we should have named him fucking Tigger.
Yeah. Boing.
That's all he does. I'm like, oh.
All right.
Right.
Let's check in with the live chat here. DM Demod says, hello, J. Edgar, D-Live link. Somebody get DM Demod the D-Live link. Oh, I can do it, actually. No, that's Discord, not D-Live. Never mind, I can't do it from here.
Hold on, I got it.
Duke Rollo says gasoline is going to be 15 cents a gallon next week. Yeah, I posted that on Twitter because everyone was complaining about the stock sell-off. And I just went to the grocery store before I started doing visual aids. And yeah, gas is down 20 cents from Friday. Absolutely is. And at a 33-gallon tank, that is huge.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm worried about now. It's like one day I'm going to go outside and go, let me go put gas in the car. And it's going to be fucking ridiculously expensive. More than what it is now. I think it's what, $2.29 I think where we're at?
It's $2.07 in Janesville.
Yeah, around here it's about $2.29.
Yeah.
And then you drive to, I don't know, let's say Seekonk, where I was up in that area today, it was $2.45. So it's based, but I did notice that when we were traveling down to Florida, it's expensive. Ooh, really cheap. Oh, shit. Hey, let's go get some gas.
The magic of gas tax. Well, I wonder why it's so expensive in Seekonk. They got all the racing fuel up there. I love that speedway, by the way. I want to go back there at some point.
I haven't been here in a long time. If anything, I just drive past it.
My buddy and I used to go there every weekend.
The last time I went there was probably 15 years ago to go to a demo derby.
Yeah, my buddy and I used to go there every weekend when I lived out there.
No shit.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff during the summer. A lot of my friends that I work with go to all types of events. Cause I'm working and yeah.
When I
have a work addiction.
When we used to go out there was this little Chevette that had a 400 small block in it. I was ripping up around the track, beating the crap out of Corvettes and Camaros and stuff. Just this little tiny Wayne's World car with a huge engine in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's beating all those vehicles. It's only pulling 600 pounds behind it.
I don't know how it ever got traction in the fucking thing either.
No shit. Probably just the weight of it holding it down to the track. That's all I could think of. Or maybe he had a stabilizer underneath something. But I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. DM Demod says California is full of flakes, and then Duke Roll says I have some frosted flakes. She found it. DM Demod is over on D-Live now. Sully Blue says, if Trump didn't postpone rallies and is saying don't panic, I truly believe it's just a simple take precautions, but it's not a plague that'll wreak havoc on you like some try and say. Yeah, I could see that.
I'm more inclined to agree with Sully, but still something I would definitely take serious because even Lucretia Hughes just posted right now the entire country of Italy is on lockdown. Everything is shut down.
Yeah. Duke Roll says finally is right. Sully Blue says if you hit Orlando, you gotta hang. I was in high school buddies with John and I live around Orlando. Yeah, I mean I wouldn't mind. Once everything cleared up, I actually do want to get down there at some point. I've got family that lives in Florida now, and I want to go see them. It's not in Orlando area, but it's down there. I do want to get down there, but I mean, it's like I said, it's 2 days down, 2 days back. If I go to DC, it's just a 12-hour drive. I can do that in a day. So, Jessica Green, welcome on board, says, everyone I know who's been on a cruise gets sick. They're incubators at sea. Fago says, hey, Sully. Yeah, because they know each other. They got to tag along for archery. So, yeah, go check out John's archery videos. They're hilarious.
Oh, God, yeah.
Didn't send me the link. Raul Duke. DM DeMont says, sorry, I'm going on Tony Patriots in a bit. Got to go get ready, but I followed you on both, Jad. Oh, thank you. Yeah, check us out. We're on here
DM.
every Monday, Tuesday, every morning. Yeah, there's a lot of content on this channel now, so check us all out here. All right, what do we got next on this fun little trip here? The lawsuits, the libel lawsuits. Since I know how much you guys love lawyers.
Oh, I love lawyers. I love them properly cooked with a little bit of salt and garlic, but that's another story. Yeah, I mean, what the hell took them so long to do this? They have been slandering and libeling him for 5 years.
I was going to say it has been a while.
Nonstop. 95% of the things that they say about him, they spin it to be false.
I think my neighbor is hanging something up. I can hear it over there on the other side. Thank you.
That's it.
Anyway, this past week on several different outlets, the Trump administration and Trump himself have both come out to say that they are filing lawsuits against the New York Times, CNN, and Washington Post specifically on the case of libel. They are leaving out MSNBC, but I mean, you know, they're biased right off the bat. So I know these other ones are trying to feign objectivity, so I'm thinking that may be part of the lawsuit. I have not read the suit yet. I have not been able to find any leaks on that, which is surprising given as leaky as the administration has been so far. But we do have some other media outlets that are claiming that all of these are dead on arrival due to the high bar that's required for defamation of a public figure. But I don't know if these media outlets are actually serious about this or if they're protecting their own interests. What have you guys seen on this so far?
Well, I mean, I haven't, like I said, I don't watch much of TV. I mean, not many podcasts I listen to either. And to anybody, I have a thing with listening to people just talk in a car. It drives me nuts. I like to listen to music instead. So, I mean, a lot of information or anything that my brain would actually retain, I usually get from him. And, you know, he try to fills me in on a lot of this stuff. But I mean, as far as myself watching this, unfortunately, that's why I said, I'm like, half this shit. I'm like, dude, I don't know any of this. I'm like, oh boy.
That's it, man. Just call me IBM. I'm a fucking word processor. But
I would say irritable bowel movement. No, IBM. No. Go ahead. Stop.
I bluff.
Shut up. It's not when we have the gun.
Yeah,
up.
you don't like guns. Very liberal.
I was going to say he's in Massachusetts. What do you expect?
He'd probably vote for Bernie. Here you go, Bernie. Here's your most intelligent voter out there. Here he is. He hates guns and he licks his own balls. Just your kind of guy. That's a Bernie. Let me see this thing. Watch, see? Gun control. Gun control. Gun control. All right. No more.
He breaks his table. I'm going to break you.
Good boy. No more.
Primo, you have anything to add on this one?
As far as
the whole
what you've seen on the
lawsuit thing, I mean, you just catch a headlines here and there. I've just been thinking to myself, what the hell took him so long? I guess he needed to wait until he compiled a case so rock solid. Mm-hmm. And I do definitely resent the fact that everything that Adam Schiff supposedly is protected because he said it while he was on record in Congress, so they can't bust him for perjury. Mm-hmm. Even though, I mean, technically he should be considered under oath because it's a legal proceeding.
Right.
So that really irks me. But as far as this whole lawsuit deal, it's a dog and pony show for the media to show that Trump's fighting back. He's never going to get a dime off of them. And if he does, it's going to be small. Not enough to put them out of business. But, I mean, that's really going to be the extent of it. Because, unfortunately, the media has grown to a position now where they're so powerful they can overcome almost any type of scandal. You could have Dan Rather go on the air and rape a woman on live TV. And if they could just claim that it was for educational purposes, they'll fucking get away with it. And that's not even a joke either. That's to the point where our media is. They're the one institution in this country with absolute power, untouchable. And that's a very terrifying thought. And even Trump suing them, all the libel and slander suits in the world don't make a bit of difference because the stories that they printed that were libelous have already been printed. The eyes have already seen them. The clicks have already been clicked, and the ad revenue has already been made.
Right.
So really, all they're going to do is for a couple, they're going to ad revenue for Trump, and that's it.
Well, I wanted to
and they're still going to keep doing what they do.
I wanted to bring us something else up on what you had just said, because you had brought up the fact that he was building in such a rock solid case, and that's what took him so long. I think it's more dangerous on some point if he were to file this lawsuit and lose at this point, because that opens the door for the media to be able to come up and do this to any of the rest of us. I mean, I do want to go through and be a lawmaker at some point.
Oh, if he loses this lawsuit, that is the official coronation of the mainstream media to the absolute power of this country. Higher than the president, higher than Congress, higher than the Supreme Court. The media is absolute and can't be touched. And if the president of the United States can't sue them for printing blatantly false things about him, then how far have we fallen?
Well, and of course, it's just going to be the mainstream media, because if I said that Adam Schiff sneezed and he didn't, I'm going to be sued out of existence to the point that they're going to take my computer, my laptop, my webcams, and everything else.
They may even take your drawers.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Your pubes, keep those, whatever they can get.
Oh, they can't shave those. Those are already shaved.
Thanks for sharing. I was just getting hypothetical with it. All right.
So you don't think this goes anywhere? You think that he loses? Or at least comes out to a settlement of a...
Yeah, even if he wins, he loses. I think filing the suits maybe kind of... Get the hell down, you. Kind of makes a little point in terms of what he's trying to do. But the only thing that's really going to beat them is they have to lose their audience. Something so profoundly awful has to come out about all of... As soon as something comes out where we have absolute confirmation that these news outlets all work in collusion together, that'll be the end of them. Even their own hardcore, diehard viewer base will disown them.
And we will be
because
talking
they'll realize they have no choice.
And we will be talking about their damage control with Chris Matthews here in just a little bit here. All right, we are
what a waste of time.
Yeah, we're flying through these tonight. That's good though, because I had a 2.5 hour show last time, so let's see what we've got going on in the live chat here. Sully Blue says he'll text John before the show, so they got some stuff going on here. This was Seawall's coming in his bio-sealed half-track. He's got to get those vehicles changed up for those. John is offering some bat soup. Seawall says he thinks Trump wants to force retraction and admission of lying. Do you think that could happen?
I don't know.
Sully Blue says too big to fail and not held at an even standard like the Gen Cap talked about. We screwed ourselves. Yep. John says I can't wait for you to run for office and it comes out that you took your shirt off on my show, which I did.
What a fucking scandal. Jesus.
Seawall says that Manscapes. Yeah. That'll help Gen Cap's rate. Oh, that's why he wants that news to come out, because it'll help the ratings.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Gotta set up that clickbait. As far as this shit is like this shit with the media is gotten so far out of control to the point where they, like I said, they are the one institution in this country with absolute power. They can hand you any information that they want, no matter how false it is.
And people
knowing that it's false,
believe it.
Exactly, knowing that their idiot readers are stupid enough to believe this shit, and they'll make a shit ton of money off of each one with the ad revenue or however it is they generate their cash. But by the time the story comes out to be not true, it's 2 weeks later, The story has already been consumed. Everybody already believes it to be gospel. And they print a retraction that's this big compared to a full-page headline of the initial lie.
Yeah, full page headline on the initial lie, 27th page retraction of the retraction.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, how do you compete with that? How is that holding the media accountable? That is anything but accountability. That's just a free pass to let them get away with whatever the fuck they want. And they get to keep the money that they made under false pretenses. The two biggest problems we have in this country are putting lawyers into our legislative branches of government because they're crafting laws that are excluding us from the bigger picture. And we have to stop feeding the media beast. Because I think the media and like the whole left as a whole, I think is probably the closest thing that you could compare to the beast in the book of Revelations in the Bible. It's a system of total and absolute control. It is omnipresent. It knows everything you do every minute of every day, where you go, what you eat, what time you take a shit in the morning. It knows literally all of these things.
Jesus.
And if you do something that the beast does not like or does not agree with, you're shut down from it. They'll cancel your accounts. They block you. They censor you. They do things like that. It's already here, folks. Many of us have been too blind to see it, and unfortunately, we willfully gave ourselves to it. And now it's to the point where it is too late. Now we just have to wait for the rest of the story to play out. And for those of you atheists out there and anybody that's never read the Bible, it's going to kind of suck a little bit.
I like that.
I'm just going to leave it at that. It's not going to be all that great.
I do want to urge you to go at least a little bit easy on the people who are lawyers, though, because Wisconsin just changed their law that you don't have to go to law school to take the bar, and I'm actually going to take it just for the hell of it.
Well, study up well, my friend, because everywhere else in the country, you have to go to law to do it. And I got to be honest.
That makes me nervous.
The attorneys that we have in government, if they were good attorneys, they'd be out trying to fight the injustices in the law in the courts, meaning the federal courts, the judicial system. Try to interpret it in the most fair and proper way possible. When you have a lawyer who knows how to interpret law sitting and actually writing his own law, that's a dangerous thing. You're setting a highly dangerous precedent by doing that, because the more convoluted and redundant and just long this bill that they write out is, the faster they are going to lose the average reader like me and the missus here. I mean, we're average IQ people. We're not going to sit there and go through the redundancy and the legalese of all of these things. Because when you look at the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, each one is a fucking paragraph. A simple explanation of what it is. That's all you need. That's all you fucking need. You don't need all this bylines and section 3 and clause and tail and all of this fucking shit. It's just a means to lock us out. It's there. They have established the big club, and we ain't in it. And one of the first things we got to do is we got to get lawyers out of the legislative. As soon as you take them out, the legislature was designed to be for everybody else. I've said it this way. You've got your judiciary, which has your lawyers and judges. That's where they go. That's where they belong. Then you have your executive branch, which should be for business types. Guys that know how to run companies, make decisions, put things together, plan shit. That's the executive branch. Now, the legislative branch should be the rest of us, the common laborer, the guy who has to experience American life as it truly is, not the fucking illusion that these fake motherfuckers live through, this bubble, this elitist bubble that they have lived in, for many of them for generations. And they're going to tell us, they're going to dictate to us the way our lives should be. That's the problem with America. And that is the true cure to the disease. Now it's up to the people, because we have the greatest system ever devised for the simple reason that we have the ability to change the way our government is at any time we want by simply voting for specific candidates. Now, if anybody is willing to take heed to what I just said, get out there and vote for somebody else that's just simply different, go for it. Mm-hmm. That's how you're going to fix the country. Because if that guy sucks that you just voted in, the new guy, if you don't like him, no. His term is only 2 years. He's gonna run again. Vote in somebody else. You are not required by law to have these 40-year Democrats sit in Congress or your state Senate or even your fucking city council, wherever you live, folks.
Didn't Cruz want to put something in place where they only run for like 2 years?
He wants term limits. That is, I think, is a beautiful thing, because they should have term limits. So you're not sitting in Congress for 50 fucking years collecting $200,000 a year and living like royalty. Meanwhile, doing absolutely nothing. I mean, look at fucking Speaker of the House. What has she really done?
Other than bash Trump and go against him on every single fucking thing.
Yeah, and make hundreds of dollars on no-bid contracts in her district.
That's not fair. She's also bashed W and HW.
Not to the extent that she has Trump.
I know.
If it still came down to it, she'd still give W a hand job in the school closet.
Jesus.
But Trump, no way. She absolutely despises him, and you could tell with him the feeling is mutual, and I enjoy the exchange. It reminds me of the Rosie O'Donnell days.
Well, with that note, let's go on to something a little bit lighter here, and some more stupidity that we never thought that we would see get mainstream. This is the worst part. Is this wasn't just some fringe. This got mainstream play on MSNBC. So, Washington D.C. writer Makita Rivas put out a tweet. It was Friday morning. She put this tweet out, and it went like this: Bloomberg spent $500 million on ads. The U.S. population is 327 million. He could have given each American $1 million and still had money left over. I feel like $1 million check would be life-changing for most people, yet he wasted it all on ads and still lost.
Well, it's obvious why she stuck to writing, because math's a strong suit. Well, let's see. I mean, here we go. Yet another reason why I don't want anybody on the left to handle the checkbook. Because these people have no idea what money is. They think money is just cash that they get on their paycheck every week. That's not just money. And the fact that they can't even do simple mathematics, like this girl made herself look like a fucking idiot. She said, all she could have said was, this guy could have given everybody in this country $5, and that probably would have made a bigger difference than the same money that he put into his campaign. Mm-hmm. That would have been an intelligent thing to say. But this fucking dope, you know what? The story tells itself.
Yeah. Well, Fritz on Fritzcast did the math, and he actually came out with the fact that for 500 million people on 320, or $500 million on 327 million people is just a little bit less than $1.50 a crack.
I figure about $1.30.
Yeah. But
that sounds about right.
MSNBC, Brian Williams over on MSNBC saw this tweet and decided that he needed to weigh in. So let's see what he had to say. Get your video ready here.
An opportunity right now to put his money where his mouth is and to make a huge difference by helping Joe Biden. And that would be quite a legacy for him. And I think that's what he's looking at. So once he can kind of have a moment, swallow his pride, and get back to work, that would be the best thing for the Democrats.
But you see it as a possibility if he wants to spend $1 billion beating this guy, he could do it.
Absolutely. Somebody tweeted recently that actually with the money he spent, he could have given every American $1 million.
I've got it. Let's put it up on the screen. When I read it tonight on social media, it kind of all became clear. Bloomberg spent $500 million on ads. U.S. population 327 million. Don't tell us if you're ahead of us on the math. He could have given each American $1 million and have had lunch money left over. It's an incredible way of putting it.
It's an incredible way of putting it. It's true. It's disturbing. It does suggest.
Does MSNBC not have fact checkers?
See, this proves to me that Brian Williams doesn't give a shit. He just goes on there. He's just fucking. He nods for a living. Yeah. You fucking moron. That just goes to show you he phones it in. I'd be sitting there and be like, wait a minute. He spent $500 million, but there's $350 million in the country. I was like, it's not $1 million. That's the first thing I would have said.
Yeah.
The fact that he's just like, oh yeah, that just goes to show he's not paying attention. He just coasts through his show. These people, they're just heads. That's all they are. They're heads to put in front of your fucking TV screen. They offer you nothing. The only one who kind of sort of tries a little bit would be Richard Mancow. But even her, she's another one where Trump is evil and everything he does, and Trump is the living embodiment of AIDS and like just whatever other insulting thing that she can come up with to describe him.
This made it to the air, though. That's what blows my mind the most about this. How many people are in between Brian Williams and the camera that could have looked at this and said, wait a second, this doesn't fucking math?
Yeah, well, Brian Williams, he probably got his math lesson while he was... Remember that shit?
Well, I didn't. You cut out right there.
I think it was... Isn't Brian Williams the same guy that claimed that fucking enemy fire when he went somewhere and like they were attacked? And meanwhile, the whole story was bullshit, so NBC suspended him.
Yeah, that was Brian Williams.
Brian making an asshole out of himself.
Yeah, that was Brian Williams.
Yeah, so anything that this guy says, if he automatically... Because he probably, like... he probably goes home at night, and after he has sex with his underage hooker that was provided to him by the network, he probably goes and looks himself in the mirror and wonders if he has any of his soul left.
There is no soul there. But the story doesn't end there, by the way. So enough people started bringing this over to Makita Rivas's attention. And a couple hours later, she put this tweet out. Blah, blah, math, blah, blah. People are telling me my numbers are wrong, but the point still stands. He could easily afford to give everyone $1 million and literally never notice. I don't have words for this.
I got words for it.
I'm sure you do. I bet the missus has words for it too.
Let's see. Yep. She just wrote some words down, words I probably shouldn't even read on the air. But yeah, I definitely have one word to describe this young lady right here. Retardation. Because to actually not only not to check yourself before you send something out like this to the entire universe, then you're going to sit and you're going to double down on it. Wow. It really, dude, having these people around does one thing for me. It helps me to feel a lot better about myself.
A lot smarter.
Because at least now I realize I'm not the complete idiot that my family thought I was.
So they did the math, and they said that it would be approximately $3.27 trillion would be what it would take to give everybody in the United States $1 million, which is...
Oh, that bitch was way off.
Yeah, which is more than anybody in the United States has personally in wealth.
Yeah, which also makes me wonder how AOC Biscuit came up with the $93 trillion figure for her green new bullshit deal.
Oh, that was just a Pentagon rounding error.
She's a fucking retard.
Her fucking IQ is a rounding error. Jesus.
Well, Mrs. RRC, do you have any words to impart on Makita Rivas as she goes off into the sunset for this blunder that she put up?
I thought I was fucking bad at math. I mean, at least I openly admit it. I had special... Fuck's sake, I could have figured that out. Shit. Girl makes herself look like a complete and utter asshole. I guess that was Trump's fault, too.
Yeah.
That's always Trump's fault.
Yeah,
exactly. He does everything wrong.
Yeah, he's going to cure cancer and he's going to... and they'll still come up with a reason because the coronavirus is still floating around. But,
well, it's his fault. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
He brought it on.
The one that got me, because I didn't see the original tweet at first, the one that got me was, I mean, the picture was floating around in the second one that I put up. Blah, blah, math, blah, blah, is your response when somebody tells you you are that far off. And then to say that you're right again.
You want to know what it is?
Ignorance.
Yes, I do.
Definitely ignorance, arrogance,
Yeah.
and being, quite frankly, a spoiled little cunt. Because that is the attitude of a petulant little child who mommy and daddy never corrected when she was a little girl. Because she just got to made, she was just made to look like a complete retard in front of the entire world. Now she's gonna be nyeh, 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 nyeh. That's her attitude. They're children.
Cunt.
They're fucking children. They have done nothing. Do you know why leftism exists in one very simple reason? Because we have had it so good for so long. These idiots need to create these invisible problems in their heads so they can feel like they're even worth a fuck. Because we've had it so easy in this country. It's almost, we as America are about as close to a fucking utopia as you are ever going to get. There is no society that is going to be better than ours. At least in terms of not only technologically sound, but also in terms of freedom. And yeah, we definitely have flaws in our freedom because we gave most of it back over the legislation that we've allowed to happen since the country was founded. But you know what? For the most part, we're clean, we're safe, we have food and water, we have jobs, we're allowed to own our own home, we're allowed to kind of sort of have a little bit of privacy.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, until they come and take that too. But think of a place in this world that's better to live than here. Our homeless have it better in this country than some people that own businesses in other countries.
Oh yeah, because the fucking panhandlers that are out on almost every goddamn corner. Oh
our
yeah,
panhandle because our citizens have enough to give them so they can go get food and clothing and iPhones.
Christ, I've heard that panhandling in Vegas is like a 6-figure industry.
Yeah.
I'm doing it wrong. I shouldn't stand outside just asking for money.
Yeah. There's people. Because there was one guy I remember seeing standing out there. He's on a fucking iPhone. Our homeless have phones.
And it ain't the Obama phone either.
Yeah, this is a real iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Car thinking he's going to get it. Yeah, I roll the window up. Fuck him. But still, our homeless have it better here than anywhere else in the world. Like, these people need to appreciate what they have. Mm-hmm. But to them, because it's not exactly the way they want it. And they're probably, for one reason or another, not getting enough attention at home. That's why this whole trans thing is happening the way it's happening. Most of these people aren't trans. It's a fucking lie to get attention for many of them. There are some out there that legitimately are transgender or I guess gender dysphoric, however you want to put it, and making that transition actually helps them. It's a rare occurrence, but it's not the fucking so-called explosion that they're trying to tout. Where like they're trying to make us think that 40% of our population is gay and 10% are trans. I think it's more like maybe 5% of our population are gay and less than 0.1% are trans. I think those are the real fucking numbers.
No, it's trendy.
But all it is just a bunch of fucking spoiled people who have nothing better to do with themselves, all going out and just trying to get attention. End of story. I can't think of any other way to put it.
They all suck a prick.
Yes.
And since this tweet came out, I've actually been trying to figure out what this broad is famous for. Because she's blue-checked on Twitter. I can't figure it out because I can't
probably blew Jack Dorsey once.
I wonder if he tastes like mescaline.
No, Molly. That seems his kind of drug of choice because he always looks burnt out every morning when he has to go do an interview. He's sitting there like he's dying. All
right, let's see what the live chat has to say here. Duke Raoul says hand job with a bunch of smiling emojis here. Seawall says, not only can the left not meme, they can't do math either. And John from Generational Gap says, to be fair, math is a tool of the cis, straight, capitalist, white male patriarchy.
You gotta pee. Go ahead.
All right, I'd be right back. I
But
sorry.
she needs permission. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I always say about women. Bladders the size of golf balls.
And
You gotta piss every 5 minutes.
All right. Well, we'll read live chat while we're waiting here.
Yeah, well, I'll come and interact with our pals here.
Uh,
I love the title, by the way. I just happened to catch that.
did you like that? I had fun with that. Iamo Fago says, to be fair, math is a tool of the cis, straight, capitalist, white male patriarchy. I read that one already, but you guys are shifting positions. Sully Blue says, fucking idiots. Sewell says, no, MSNBC has propagandists. Duke Rollo says, I want my $1 million now. Sewell says, no facts exist in MSNBC. MSNBC spells it facts like a facsimile.
Well, the only fact that will exist at MSNBC whistle to the wheat field. And she wants to make sure you know that shit.
Sully Blue says, that's fake news, but I bet they spell check it. Sewell says, so grammar Nazis got it. I'm going to go with a no. I don't know what he was going with a no on that. I guess Sewell did some math, and he says he could give everyone like 190,000, assuming my 2-second math is correct, and then he would have nothing. Assuming him was 62 billion and 327 million Americans. So that would be if he cashed out all of his assets at once. And keep in mind that he probably couldn't do that because they're all held up in business and currently in use right now. That's one of the other things that the left does not understand. That
yeah, if a guy it's another thing because it goes to show you. And keep in mind, AOC Biscuit, she is a fucking economics major.
Yeah, Sewell just said that.
Yeah, and she would, if she doesn't even understand the fact that if a guy like took his $60 billion and just decided to liquidate everything, grab his cash, and disappear, do you have any idea what that would do to a national economy? Mm-hmm. People don't understand, like the fucking irreparable damage that something like that could do that quickly, to just lose $60 billion out of your economy. Even if it is all owned by one guy, but this one guy also has businesses that are circulating where people are working. Other people are paying, those corporations are paying taxes, because once he pulls that $60 billion out and he just keeps the cash and disappears or goes to the Cayman Islands, that's it. We've lost any and all interest in that $60 billion. Mm-hmm. So there's a nice little chunk of your economy shrunk right down. To some, $60 billion is nothing. But you know what? I think, what's our GDP each year? Like 2.3 trillion?
It's a little more than that, but it's not that much more.
$60 billion to a $3 trillion hit is like, that's a hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you had 5 billionaires come and liquidate all their assets, pull up stakes, and just move the fuck out of America and go to another country, our economy will collapse in 6 months. Completely. Like it or not, imbeciles, we need the billionaires. And at the same time, the billionaires need us to continue to keep them as billionaires. That's how an economy works. Mm-hmm. We are going to have to work for the big guy on top. But the big guy on top needs to continue to exist for the little guy on the bottom. It's a hand-in-hand type of deal. I don't understand how all of these so-called economic majors don't seem to understand this basic fundamental principle of, I guess you could call it modern feudalism.
Well, it's the same thing. Like Bezos is, he's worth, what is it, almost $1 trillion. He's worth some huge amount of money himself, but he gets paid.
I think it's like 130 billion.
Yeah, he gets paid $80,000 a year in his salary. That's what he gets for salary, and everything else is tied up in assets. It's tied up in business. In order for him to get that money that he's worth, he has to sell it all off, get the cash. But first, he has to find buyers for $130 billion worth of stuff that'll pay the market value for it. If he had to liquidate, he would lose money on the spot.
Oh, yeah. He'd lose half the value of... He'd lose half his net value.
Well, I bet you it'd be more than half.
Yeah, you know
that's
what?
before he pays the taxes.
It'd probably be more like 3/4. So to try to liquidate 130 billion, at the end of the day, after liquidation, cost, sacrifices he's got to make, and then taxes, he's he's going to walk away with about 30 billion. So he's going to take a hit. He's going to be bitter. He's going to be gone. And meanwhile, the rest of us lost out on that piece of our economy. That was quite $130 billion person being wrapped up into the American economy with his assets is great for us. It's not bad. It's good. We are a capitalistic society. It's astounding, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
So let's see what else they had to say. Sewell says, sorry, I assumed Bloomberg was richer. He could give everyone $171,000 or 171.5K and then have nothing. And that is, once again, assuming he gets fair market value for all of his assets. Then he says, am I the only hardworking, successful millennial? No, technically in your generation. And Primo, you're just on the other side of the Gen X line, are you not?
I guess so. I guess I'm on the cusp. I was born in 81.
Okay, so you're on the Gen X side, I'm on the millennial side, but we're on the line. Because the line is
Right.
82.
So we're right there.
Let's see. I am a cisgender white Christian male that somehow makes me a rarity in my generation. Yeah, I think so. It's trendy to be transgender, though, man. Get with the trend. Let's see. Looks like you got fact checked on the GDP. So 15 trillion or 19.39 trillion was the GDP that we have. But still, 60 billion is, I mean, a hell of a chunk of that still.
I know.
We were talking about Bezos, and he says, not only that, but Amazon might fold if he sold off like that. John says, the rich and the poor form a symbiotic relationship. The ones who are mad are the middle class because they find it difficult to move to the upper class due to stock value loss. Ron Helton is back for how long? I don't know. My internet lost connection, and now I have buffering. Welcome back, Ron Helton. Producing nothing but useless intellectuals must be our generation. And then the last one before we go into our last topic is Seawall says, time for neo-feudalism.
Okay.
He's big into those old styles of government.
I noticed. I mean, fucking feudalism.
Feudalism?
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
In a way, we kind of live under feudalism in some ways, but
I've heard of fertilizer, but what the fuck is...
basically, if you're in the bottom of the feudal totem pole, you are fertilizer.
Oh, okay, so we're shit.
Pretty much.
I'm the shit. There we go.
Yeah. Yes, son.
Don't do that. I hate when you do that.
It's the system of lords and ladies that that England was under forever when we broke away from them.
What the hell happened?
All right,
I think
so
DLive just had a major update.
did it?
I think so, because my chats all just got wiped clean.
Nice.
Could be because your phone sucks, but...
Yeah, I can't get chats on mobile for whatever reason. I'm monitoring the DLive on my tablet, and there's no chat. I can see the chest, and that's it, which we're going to open once Mrs. RRC tells us about her hobby. I'm going to open the chest, so all you guys on DLive, prepare to go and grab your lemons. And not in the fun way.
Fucking really?
Well,
Asshole, he has to move away from me.
yeah, he's going to ask about gun over there.
Well, we got one more topic here, so you got some time to find a safe place.
All right, hold on. Let me build a shield.
So, Chris Matthews on MSNBC made a heartfelt announcement this week. So, the first thing I'm going to do is we're just going to hear it from his, in his own words. So, let's see what Chris Matthews had to say.
With my headline tonight, I'm retiring. This is the last hardball on MSNBC, and obviously, this isn't for lack of interest in politics. As you can tell, I've loved every minute of my 20 years as host of Hardball. Every morning I read the papers, and I'm gung-ho to get to work. Not many people have had this privilege. I love working with my producers and the discussions we have over how to report the news. And I love having this connection with you, the good people who watch. I've learned who you are, bumping into you on the sidewalk or waiting at an airport and saying hello. You're like me. I hear it from your kids and grandchildren who say, my dad loves you, or my grandmother loves you, or my husband watched it till the end. Well, after a conversation with MSNBC, I decided tonight will be my last hardball. So let me tell you why. The younger generations out there are ready to take the reins. We see them in politics, in the media, in fighting for their causes. They are improving the workplace. We're talking here about better standards than we grew up with, fair standards. A lot of it has to do with how we talk to each other. Compliments on a woman's appearance that some men, including me, might have once incorrectly thought were okay.
Hold on. He won't
We're
bend
never
the knee.
okay. Not then.
Is what it boils down to. He don't want socialism.
Yeah.
And he came out and said that socialism is bad. Plus, Chris Matthews has had a long-standing reputation of being a booby toucher.
Boobies!
Yeah, like he has a long history of sexual harassment of women, like touching their tits, constantly like fucking making them uncomfortable by saying how attractive they are and shit. He's a real class act, that guy. And quite frankly, for all the bullshit that he's spewed over the years, I say good riddance. Because even when he first started on MSNBC, I was like, this guy's an... I remember watching him 20 years ago when hardball first became a thing. I said even back then, this guy was full of shit. And I was just a teenager at the time.
Yeah.
So, sure enough, I was right, because he's first time he actually did try to get real a little bit, they immediately fucking, all of a sudden, he gets Me Too'd.
Yep.
So, yep, they had to fucking, they had to make sure, because he spoke against what they want and their interests, they had to make sure that they humiliated him and pressured him out. So now his prime slot is probably going to be filled up with some other young, probably very, very effeminate gay man. Oh, welcome to MSNBC. That's what you're going to have next. Who will fucking toe the line anyway, anyhow that they want him to, because he just wants to make that money.
You think they'll get Mazza?
If they hire that piece of shit, fucking motherfucker again, I forget who it was that recently did a story on him. He's back in the news because he got somebody else banned because they called him out on the fact that he's a fake. He's a silver spoon socialist.
Yeah.
As they're known as, because spoiled rich kids who never had to struggle or worry for anything in their lives, and all of a sudden preach socialism to people. And the first person that called him out on that ended up getting their Twitter account suspended. And then I guess the next day, there's like, oh, we suspended you in error, you're good to go. And then a few hours later, he was suspended again and forced to take tweets down. Which apparently Carlos Mazza's family is highly connected in Silicon Valley. And they made a couple of calls over to Twitter and said, I want this kid's thing suspended until that shit gets taken down. So he's being protected by mommy and daddy's money.
Don't you wish you could have that kind of protection?
Exactly what he claims to despise and fight against.
Well, to go back to Matthews on this, so as Primo said quite vocally out here, yes, after various interviews came out against both Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, MSNBC was able to release documentation of an encounter that happened a couple years ago in which, while in makeup, Chris Matthews allegedly said to a guest, "Why haven't I fallen in love with you yet?" And also had said that, or told the makeup artist to make sure that she did not make up the woman in such a way that she could go out to a bar and get a date afterwards. And this come, of course, on the heels of comments like this one here, which I clipped from the live read. Let me get that one queued up here. The live chat, actually, the live coverage of, what was it, Nevada primary? Yeah, it was the Nevada caucus. They were covering towards the end, and I got the 30-second clip that I think that they're trying to hold against him. Let's see, video.
He got more than a majority of that 67%. That is the name of the game. It is pretty much over unless that changes. I was reading last night, Brian, I know you're a history guy too. I'm reading last night about the fall of France in the summer of 1940. And the general, Renault, calls up Churchill and says, it's over. And Churchill said, how can it be? You got the greatest army in Europe. How can it be over? He said, it's over. So I had that suppressed feeling. I can't be as wild as Carville, but he is damn smart. And I think he's damn right on this one. Joy.
Well, I mean, Chris, I don't know.
So Matthews came out and compared the fall of the Nazi invasion of France to Bernie Sanders winning the Nevada caucus, and suddenly this came out. In addition, he'd also gone pretty hard on Elizabeth Warren, making sure that she verified the claims that she made against Michael Bloomberg of the fact that he had told an employee to kill her unborn child. What do you guys think about this?
Long story short, they all suck a prick.
Oh, wait, I'm so confused. What did he tell?
All right, so Chris Matthews compared Bernie Sanders, I guess, winning the Nevada primary to the Nazis invading France in 1940. And Elizabeth Warren, I guess, he gave her a hard time for, I guess, saying that Bloomberg told one of his pregnant employees that she should kill her baby.
This is the people you fucking vote for. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, Queef J. Strongbow, she's in my state. Fucking Hiawatha. And just, every time she opens her mouth, she embarrassed.
Well, she should fucking hang her head, hang her head in fucking shame.
At least, you know what? At least Bloomberg, he's a lot more honest about who and what he is. I can respect that. I wouldn't vote for him in 50 million fucking years. And to me, as far as I'm concerned, the sooner that guy fucking checks out, the better. Because he's getting old now.
Mm-hmm.
Not anything harm befall him. I want him to die of old age, which in his case should be very soon. But and Chris Matthews, he's gross.
Yeah.
He's always been gross. Anytime there's a halfway decent looking woman on his show, he spends 20 minutes talking about how hot she is. Like he's fucking Howard Stern. Howard Stern could get
Joe Biden's sniffing
exactly. Come sit on Uncle Chris's lap.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
Well, that's the worst.
Fuck out of here with that
except
shit.
Ann Coulter. Mop. Yeah, long yellow rope on a stick.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Matthews, too, from what you've just said and from what I understand, they've got a string of these Me Too things that they were just hiding. So what does that tell you about MSNBC, that they were sitting on these things, waiting for an opportunity to go and basically can Matthews over this? What does that say about...
As opposed to... Yes, I see what NBC does. As opposed to taking action and eliminating these people, they sit on the information in order to control them. That's what they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, they seem to have lost a little bit of control of Chris Matthews getting tired of this shit, so here comes the accusations. How come for years and years nobody ever said anything? He was just like a cute, fumbly, bumbly old man trying to be nice and pick up chicks.
Well,
like it was shtick. Now all of a sudden, the guy's a fucking predator. Come on. Ugh. Just fuck. Ugh.
The fuckery of it all.
Why does TV exist anymore? TV needs to go away.
I don't watch it.
I quit watching TV years ago.
I cut the cord. Anything I do comes off of YouTube or DLive or something else. Even the video clips I don't take from TV anymore because fuck it. I got Netflix and there's enough hours of non-political stuff on there that I can watch that'll keep me busy forever.
We got Prime Videos. We do the same.
Yeah, Amazon. I get a lot of good. So I'm happy with that. I won't subscribe to Netflix. I won't give them any more money for all the shit that they produce. Because with them, almost everything is political now.
Yeah.
Hulu did a documentary on Hillary Clinton. I used to be a subscriber to Hulu, and now for that reason, I will subscribe to fucking Hulu again. Because fuck Hulu.
All right. Well, let's check in with the live chat for the last time here. So get your last minute questions in off this. Looks like we've got a bit of a short run here, so we might not get any more last minute ones out of this. But see, well, it's set time for neo-feudalism. Let's see. Then he says, "Hey guys, just give me control and I will fix everything." Well, Seawall tends to enforce his law over helicopter rides, so I'm not completely on board with that one, unfortunately. John says, "I couldn't fit my whole comment in one try." Ron Helton says, "Everyone is enslaved to the government. Direct taxes make it harder to stop government policies that are harmful. Repeal the 16th. Seawall had an explanation for you on feudalism. It was the Middle Ages government system in most of Europe and Japan was the what we had there. Yamofago says it was a two-part comment. I must have missed that one somehow. Then he says, "I'm with you, Seawall, libertarian feudalism." I don't know how that would work, to be completely honest. That seems like an oxymoron in terms. Ron Helton has the AOC Wandering Eye, and the RRC has one in there that I'm probably going to clip for my own channel because I very much enjoy.
I figured you'd like that one.
Oh, is it the AOC one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Seawall says, "Nah, techno-libertarian feudalism. The techies are the lords. Can't fix a computer, no power." And that is going to be it for the night as far as live chat here. But stick around, everybody. If you're on DLive, get over to the DLive here because we're going to pop the chest. So get ready for that. But while we're popping the chest, Mrs. RRC, we've talked so much bad politics, so much hard stuff. We talked about coronavirus, the presidential election, a lot of stuff that brings us down. So let's finish the show on a light note and tell us a bit about a hobby that you have that has nothing to do with work or politics. It could be an album that you picked up. It could be, I think I know where we're going with this. An album you picked up, an instrument you've been playing, just something that helps you unwind at the end of the day.
Love you.
You want to make it to your show tonight? Shut up while you're ahead. No, I mean, like I said, because I work so much, hobbies don't really exist to me. The only one that I do have once in a blue moon is the casino.
Okay.
I like to go to that. That's something my mother and I used to. I find peace there. Don't ask me why. There's chances that you're losing fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me and he's gone sometimes and he goes, "I don't get you." I'm like, "What do you mean?" "You have no fucking patience for the life of me. You're ready to fucking cut somebody and hit somebody at the split second's notice." He goes, "But you go to a casino where, whatever, how many times you lose fucking money and you find peace in that. I don't get you." And I'm just like,
Yeah, she'll come out of there and be like, "Yeah, I stayed."
wouldn't say that.
No, I jest.
No, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have time for that stuff, and I probably should make time for it. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm a workaholic, and it's more of the goal now. We're trying to get a house and move the hell out of the state, so it's like it's kind of balls to the wall, and hopefully afterwards have play time or hobbies and stuff. But yeah, when I have the chance once in a blue moon, I go to the casino. Other than that, I play with these two assholes that drive me batshit crazy. I deal with him because, well, fucking ball and chain. I have no choice.
Yeah. I do understand the casino. I don't like the machines at the casino because I think they're rigged and I don't like them. But I do have a soft spot for table games. I do like those, especially the ones that take a little bit up here.
Yeah, no, the table games I'm a little too eek on. I mean, I kind of too rich for my blood type deal. Like, I mean, slot machines, which there's times where I've actually done quite well. Needless to say, I mean, yeah, you lose a little money, but usually about 3/4 of the time, I can usually either make my money back or make a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then sometimes I get scratch tickets. Depending on how those go, I do. I sometimes do fairly well in those.
There was a not a casino game, but something that I saw in like every corner store when I lived out there. Do you guys still have it? You know what I'm talking about, right?
What is that? I'm sorry.
Do you play Keno?
They do have Keno. I don't play it, but
They got Keno fucking everywhere, man.
yeah, they have
Keno.
give it time.
I don't even know what it is.
I guess you pick a set of numbers, and then the balls come up, and obviously, if you get the balls, you win whatever the prizes are.
Yeah, you could choose up to 10 numbers, and for each round, it draws I think either like 20 or 25 numbers. You could pick anywhere from 1 to 100, and the more of your numbers that get picked, the more money you win. Like if you would have hit like 10 out of 10 on a dollar bet, you could win like $100 grand. Personally, rip off. Because it makes sure to not pick the numbers that you picked. It makes damn sure to do that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, almost had it. No, we ain't got it.
Yeah, me, when we go to the casino, she plays, I drink.
Yeah, he does. It's funny. Because it's like, I'll look at him and I'll just be like, want to play? Nah.
Not my
but
thing.
Also, the same token, that's something I don't do often. So something like that, if I want to go and enjoy myself, I make sure I try to save the money and all that kind of stuff. But it's fun when I win.
She loves it.
I know. I'm kind of the same way.
I enjoy it. Like I'll get a bonus round and I'll just sit back like, fuck yeah, I ain't gonna hit that button for fucking 30 times better than what I get.
Yeah, and meanwhile, there's nights where she'll go in there and she'll just drop a deuce. Literally. And while she's sitting there taking that shit, the lady next to her is playing the exact same game as her and hitting bonus after bonus. And I could just, like, I'm standing behind her drinking my beer or whatever, and I could just see her every once in a while just fucking.
Oh, shut up.
Just give her that fucking look.
What I like about the casinos here, except for the one in Madison, of course, because they just changed it for the SJWs, but like I'll go with my buddies. My cousin had his bachelor party there. We went up there, and I did play a little bit of table game while I was up there, but for the most part, he went in and played the machines, and I grabbed a cigar because it was the only place in Wisconsin you can still smoke indoors.
Yeah, like I said, even if I were to do a table game, would be blackjack. That'd be about it. I don't know how to play poker or anything like that. Blackjack would be the easiest game for me to do. But like I said, minimum buy-in is 5, and then the rest go up. I mean, at least a slot machine you can kind of pick and choose. Like usually, I'll do like $1 a bet. Except there's one machine though. I must admit that will probably fucking take my soul if it could. But it's addicting though. The game that I play. And it's like, the highest bet is $5, but, I'll usually hit like $1. Then I'll go, like, if I, win whatever, then I'll be like, okay, I'll go up to $1.50, then $2.50. And then there's times I'm just like, fuck it. And I'll look at him and be like, should I do it? He's like, yeah, fuck it. And I hit I'd hit the $5 bet. And there's been plenty of times I didn't get shit, but there's been like 2 or 3 times I'd hit it and I'd get the bonus round. And I'm like, it's up $5 a bet. Woo!
Yeah, you've cleared $1,000 from that game more than once.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming in here and checking out the news with us.
No, thank you for having us. I mean, I wish I knew more about. I tried to throw my little tidbits in when I could.
Yeah. Well, again, I wanted to get the kitchen table aspect of it, not necessarily somebody who studies it, so I was perfect for that. If you guys want to, or if you guys out in the live chat want to come and finish the conversation with me, you can find me on Twitter. That is at EdsBlog Twitter with a 1 in place of the I. Or there are a myriad of other links that are linked down below everywhere except for on Twitch. I'm going to get that fixed this week here. If you want to finish the conversation with my guest or her husband there, both of them, why don't you tell us where they can find you guys?
In hell! No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, really. But, yeah, you can. RRC podcast. I also have a social media site called Parlor. I'm at the RRC and she's at Mrs. RRC. We each have a D-Live channel. You can find us on YouTube. We have a Discord server as well. I don't really use it all that much because, I mean, I'm stretched fucking thinner than a snare drum as it is. So just the few things that I have been able to manage, folks, be thankful for that. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can check out our website, rrcpodcast.com, to get show archives.
And you can also check them out over on freedomscoop.com as well. I think Jake just finished adding you to the lineup.
Yes. We're the new guys in town.
Absolutely. So, with that, once again, make sure you go and check out their links for the D-Live on YouTube are in the description as well. Otherwise, you can pick them up out of the live chat. They were there as well. So, check that out. And if you're on my channel, their channel, or otherwise, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up button. If you're just catching up with us now and you want to catch the rest of the replay, you can catch it on demand on youtube.com and on bitshoot.com as well. Make sure you like and subscribe on both of those. Or if you'd rather take us on the go, we are on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And remember, if you are on iTunes, leave us that 5-star rating and a good review. That helps us move up the charts and it helps us overcome Apple's algorithm problems. Lastly, we are partnered with the Freedom Scoop Media Group, which we have got another change coming up, and soon to be announced, we will be adding our 5th podcast to the channel. So go ahead and check us out over there. We're working on getting a 24-hour live feed going on as well, so you'll be able to see replays of all of our stuff on a 24-hour continuous basis. And if you want to find good independent content, or if you want to create good independent content, contact us, reach out to us, and check out our website. As we always say on this show, never take the words of bloggers, podcasters, or journalists as gospel. Find all the facts and draw your own conclusions. Mrs. RRC, why don't you give us a last word?
Fucking cunt.
And I didn't even look. My aim is good. Make sure you watch the show tonight and watch Ed's show, or I'll come after you. Oh, shut up, asshole.
Take care, everyone.
Worthless fucking bag.